You're listening to Amazing Radio. This is Amazing Afternoons. I'm delighted to say that the artist better known as Fine is on the line with me. Finn, how you doing?
Yeah, great. Thank you for having me on, Frankie.
It's a pleasure to have you on. I loved the Shade of Blue single so much that we made it single of the week here on Amazing Afternoons. But that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to your music. You've been releasing singles and EPs over the last couple of years, but this is a momentous year for you as an artist, as the album is finally upon us.
Yeah, the album is finally here. Very excited to have it coming out on Whiskers label Analog Horizons in partnership with EMI North. It's all very exciting, and yeah, just very excited to have it out in the world.
Tell us a little bit about your journey as an artist to date, then, and how you've managed to kind of carve out this sound of yours because it's very interesting. It's very kind of from a production point of view. There's a lot going on there, and that's obviously something you're very passionate about and very good at. Have you always been influenced by production values and things like that? You're obviously quite meticulous when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think well, I started off playing in bands, and that's kind of how I got into music. We had like an indie band called Jabwocky back in the day. We're doing that for maybe like 5 or 6 years, and then everyone kind of got to uni stages. People started moving to different cities, and I think after that we kind of all decided to kind of start going our separate ways. I was still super involved in music. Wanted to kind of start taking some of these like of my own ideas and some of my other influences in like electronic music, and just kind of seeing where they would take me. So I studied degree at Leeds Beckett, doing music production, and kind of I think over those 3 years I started to like, develop my sound. Had plenty of time in lockdown to kind of hone the sound as well, which is very helpful. And yeah, so kind of those influences, I guess I always kind of wanted to keep that live element from like my band days, going forward with like the electronic production stuff. And it was always about pairing like live electronic elements with like the more organic guitars, pianos, and stuff. And I think you can hear like quite a lot of that come through on this album.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think being in a band gives you good foundations for being realistic and pragmatic in the music industry? Because, like you say, you've always had an eye on how this would work live. And I guess ultimately it kind of comes down to that as well, doesn't it? But I think from a kind of realistic point of view, the realistic kind of expectations of the music industry, nothing gives you a slap around the face like playing a gig on like a toilet tour or whatever like that, because it gives you a real experience, doesn't it? But I guess as well, if you were doing this so young, you get to meet lots of people and like-minded people and discover music you would never have discovered. So is it quite
Mm.
important, do you think, for musicians coming through to just get out there and form a band kind of thing?
Yeah, I think just in whatever shape your outfit becomes, I think it's always important just to like get out there, make mistakes, and then kind of go forward from there. Because I think like we've made plenty of mistakes as our band Jabrock, and I think it's getting to a point where you're comfortable enough saying no to things. Because I mean, there's plenty of, as you said, like kind of toilet tours or whatever that we did where we were playing to like rooms of two people, and it's like we booked in like 5 shows in a month, and we're maybe not necessarily promoting them or whatever. Do we really need to be doing that? And I think it's like mistakes like that that you learn from. So now going in with my own solo project, I can kind of make more informed decisions on what is a good opportunity and what is maybe not such a good opportunity.
Yeah, and I guess you only get that through life experience as well. So yeah, go and get out there and make your music and do it live. Finn, let's talk about the record then and how it differs perhaps from the music you've already released. Did you work with anyone on this? Obviously, you got collaborators on vocals, and that's something you showcase really well. But in terms of the tracks and the process, can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, of course. So I guess yeah, with this album in kind of like differently to like what I did with like the previous releases under Fine. I wanted this to be more of like a collaborative effort. So the last, I guess, 3 years of like independent music making was all about finding my sound and finding what I wanted like Fine to sound like. And then I think after like these 3 years, I kind of just wanted to start coming together with other people and making music in like a collaborative way. So we've got a few like amazing musicians on this project. We've got Molly Reimer, who features on like the second track, Empty Space. We've got Jess Eady, who features on the fourth track, Shade of Blue, and then Jonah Evans, who's very talented, like keys drummer, and he features on Empty Space and one of the unreleased tunes, Suspended, as well. So yeah, it was really nice, like coming together with all these people. Coming, I think it's nice as well because they come from like slightly different musical backgrounds. So Molly's quite pop and folk orientated, and then Jonah is kind of very, very big like jazz drummer, piano player, and then Jesse is more of in like an R&B world. And it was kind of finding ways that I could tap into their talents to like bring something new to like my sound palette. So yeah, it was really fun like collaborating with them in this way.
It's quite I mean it's really expansive at moments, your music, and it's unpredictable as well. I mean, it's very grand. The soundscapes you hear within your music. I mean, ambitious is to say the least. I mean, what's the influence, or what is the ambition there? Is it to be as big and expansive as possible?
I guess because this is Fine is more of like my producer alias. This was never to be like a. I guess I don't know. You listen to Taylor Swift's album, you know what you're gonna get with the Taylor Swift album. This was always going to be like a producer album. I guess like taking influence from people like Mura Master, or I guess older bands like Portishead and stuff like that. They're going to be throwing in these influences where you might hear like a garage track followed by some sort of like weird down tempo dub thing going on. And I really like just trying to find a way to like make them feel like they're a cohesive body of work, but also challenge the listener like every time the track changes. And I think there's elements that obviously help to tie one song to another. I think a lot of times in that my music I use like room tones and like Foley and like found sound ambience in the background. So for like the first track, you kind of in like a rainforest in the background, and then suddenly in the second track you're transported to like a fairground, and then you're just in like my local park, just like listening to the birds in the evening. Like there's you kind of enter all these different spaces throughout the different tracks.
Yeah, really take the listener on a bit of a journey, and rightfully so, and make the listener really listen as well, and you capture things maybe the second or third time around. Talk to us
Mm.
a little bit about the coming together of Whiskers label and EMI North, and EMI North is obviously quite a new thing, but I guess
Mhm.
that's opened some doors for artists like yourself, and it can only be good for the North as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's some really nice things building here in the north. So I guess like kind of going back to like my musical journey, coming so I started my own solo project and it's probably been running for about 2 years, and I was starting to look kind of towards like funding opportunities for ways that I could kind of better my music, start making music videos, just like kind of pushing it to a slightly wider audience. And Whiskers runs a charity in Leeds as well called Launchpad. So Launchpad were after a few failed applications, I finally got well, not got lucky, but I think I was finally in the right place to receive funding from them. I kind of proposed like this music video idea, and kind of became closely in contact with Whiskers and Claire throughout the release of that. Stayed in touch with them, and then as Launchpad has developed, there's like Launchpad Plus now, which is a distribution deal that kind of works within Leeds and kind of helps a lot of artists to distribute their music, and also kind of tries to hook them up with like sync deals and stuff as well. So yeah, so my music is like distributed through those guys, and then I kind of took the album after I kind of worked on that funded project with them before to Whiskers, and I was like, look, got this new body of work. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, it's actually really nice. It's gonna be a busy year, but yeah, definitely happy to take it on. And then I guess like Scott Lewis, who's working at EMI North currently, and he was happy to kind of like run that partnership between Analog Horizons and EMI North. So it's kind of nice because it's like I'm still releasing on like a very much an independent label, but I've kind of got these major label um, facilities, I guess. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like I can run through these channels. I can have like my music videos on Vivo. Just little things like that to kind of make my body of work feel that a little bit more professional.
That's very cool. Let's talk about your music as well and how you get that across live. You're going to do a session for us as well here on Amazing Radio. But when the live setup, how many of you is there on? Is it just yourself, and what kind of equipment are you using?
Yeah, so I mean, it always started off as just myself performing. But for this tour, there's gonna be, or like, and the live session as well, gonna be tapping into like Jess, Edie, and Molly Rhymer as well. So for the tracks that do have vocals, they'll be hopping up on stage with me and performing those tracks live, which is really fun. That's just like a different dynamic. But yeah, so I kind of with the live setup, um, I'm running like a live guitar and bass, all kind of just through Ableton. I've got like MIDI keyboard and like an Ableton push controller. So I've got like live looping situation, can play some live keys, and I've also got like an effects unit that allows me to, I guess, kind of create this hybrid DJ live electronic setup. So you might see me tapping around on something for a little bit, and then I'll take a step away and I'll be playing bass, and then I'll loop that in, and then I'll be affecting that live, and then adding like the live vocals over the top to kind of give it a bit more depth.
And how set are you with the situation for live setup? Is every gig going to be different because of that, because of the setup, or are you quite stuck to the sound of the record?
I guess I mean set lists won't vary massively, um, but I like to keep it in a way where it feels like a DJ performance. Each tune flows perfectly like into one another. So we're kind of like looking at songs where key changes might just nicely slide into one another. But what's really nice about the live setup is there is a lot of like space for improvisation and variation within it as well. So although you'll hear all the songs you might want to hear, like you've heard from the record, you'll be treated to something slightly different every time you watch the live set.
Fantastic. And we can't wait for the session at the end of this chat as well. Before we get into that, what's the plans for the rest of the year? I guess the record's out, so how do you follow it up?
So records out. I think it's going to be hectic but very exciting weekend. The week of release, we've got the Great Escape coming up. We're going to be playing on the Friday and the Saturday there on the 16th, 17th and 18th of May. Sorry. And then we're going to do a record in store. Some of the Leeds based record shops so over at Vinyl Whistle on the first Sunday in June. And then we've got a little tour that's going to come in the back end of June as well, from the 24th to the 28th. In Brighton, London, Liverpool, and Leeds. So yeah, lots of like nice, exciting live opportunities coming.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, it's been a great chat, and we love what we've heard so far. And the record is a real triumph as well, Finn. So thanks so much for taking the time. And we're going to really enjoy this session you've done for us as well here on Amazing. Thanks very much, Finn.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much for having me.
Take up the wheels for a minute, last a breath if you give a little light. Hold fast, slow, fine. Empty place to hide inside. Breathe fast, go fast. Empty space traced in the sunlight. New connections, new perceptions, new directions. Where there's dark, there's a lesson, yeah. New ideas determined, a new leaf that's grown, a new certainty, no, baby. You need a new shade of blue. Yours is growing old on you. Find your meditation. Let go of the dark blue that possesses you. Yeah, no, that possesses you. Yeah, no, oh yeah, shade of blue. Oh no, no, growing old on you, growing old on you. You need a new shade of blue. 'Cause yours is growing old on you. Oh yeah, state of mind. Are you looking for a new state of mind? Oh baby, state of mind. No state of mind. Are you looking for a new state of mind? Yeah, yeah.